What's up? Alexi1 here, and today we'll look at round 8 of the Hogeschool Vlissingen, Hogeschool Zeeland Vlissingen tournament. Round 8 I played against Tobias Voege, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but whatever. A German guy. And after the loss in the last round I wanted to bounce back, but that didn't go quite as planned. The guy was rated 2191, which is fine. And I saw in the database he played a lot of accelerated dragons, like so. But yeah, this game he sometimes played the French, and this game he did so as well. And yeah, I figured he prepared something, but I couldn't really be arsed. I thought I'd just play my line and hope for the best. So if you've seen my live games, you know that I play this line a lot. And g5, this is known as the refutation line, but it's not really that much of a refutation actually. It's interesting, it's kinda nice, but so the point is if we take with the knight he can take here, and if we take with the pawn he can take here. So we take with the pawn because this is known as the best line. And here I played king g2. And the guy took on f3. So the normal move in this line is takes, and then king g2. But by playing king g2 immediately, you put him to the question if he, well, for one, if he wants to play some sideline. So he can play some sidelines here with knight g6 or knight c4. Or if he just wants to go back to the main line, which is this. But after king g2 he thought for about 10 minutes and then took. So my guess is he didn't really 100% prepare correctly, but yeah, he played bishop d7 here, which is fine. The old main line is bishop f8, but bishop d7 now is kind of the point here. And I played rook b1, which I had looked at before. I had the French in round 3 and I looked at the line then, and yeah, I just remembered the line still. So bishop f8 and now b4. This is kind of a nice move. This is the whole point of rook b1, to play b4. I think I kind of recall that the bishop in the bishop d7 line doesn't need to go to f8. But I'm not 100% sure. I thought it could go to d6 in this line, but you have to forgive me for that, because now b4. He obviously can't take the to a3. So he played bishop g7, and now there are a few options. I think maybe bishop d3 is better, but I wasn't. I saw this line in my preparations, but I recalled that in my file, which I have from about 3 or 4 years ago, when I looked at this line, it said b5 here. And I have that file lying around, but it's probably a bit outdated. So I guess bishop d3 is probably better. Knight takes d4, now bishop b2 is the point. No, it's not. Bishop e3. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, I haven't really looked at it yet, but I saw this in the afterwards, after the game, that this might be a better option. Yeah, so I guess my file's a bit outdated, I don't know. Anyways, I went b5 here, and knight takes d4, bishop e3, so I knew this line. Bishop d3 here. So I definitely knew this position, and I knew that there are two options here, e4 and bishop g4. If e4 we can take, and although material is equal, he has two bishops. There are some pluses here. His king is somewhat unsafe, and we can, if he castles long, we can attack it easily with the bishop f4, rook c1. And if he castles short, we can go h4, h5, h6, or g6, or whatever. So it's for a practical game, it's fine, I guess. It's nothing too special, but e4 is by far the most critical move, though. if bishop g4, which is what he played, we can take on d4, check on f3, take back, takes on d4, and now I know rook h1. And this is kind of where my theory stopped. So I know this position, and although you're a pawn down here, you have enough compensation for the pawn due to this weak king. So we are attacking f7, so e4 is not really possible. He could castle short, which he did, and he could also play rook f8, I think. But then we can take, I guess, on h7. At least I was planning on taking here. If a check, we can just go rook f2, takes, and just takes here. But like I said, he castled here. You can also castle long, by the way. But I figured this is a bit much. Although the engine says it's a draw here. I don't know, just a repetition. I wasn't too sure what I was gonna do here actually. I think b6. I think b6 was my plan. If he takes, take here and then check on c1. And then rook takes b6, but then he has a repetition as well, I guess. Yeah, it's still a repetition. I don't know. Like I said before, this is where my theory stopped. And he castled short, and now I played bishop f5, which is kind of the only move, because if I don't go bishop f5, then just e4 is coming. But I knew that this line was somewhat solid, and I figured this must be the only way here, because otherwise e4 and black is easily better. But now if e4 we can play queen h5, and that's kind of horrible for him. So he played the good move, queen d2 check, rook f2, queen takes g5, queen takes d5, and yeah, now we're still pawn down, but we are attacking b7, and we do have some activity, pressure on f7. There are some reasonable pluses here. I thought about b6 here actually. I thought b6 was the best move. And I think I was planning to play, I don't recall what I was planning to play. I think something like rook af1 or bf1 or something, or h4 maybe. But yeah, this didn't happen. He played queen e7. Rook d8 though is probably also a move, but then we can take. If rook d2, we can maybe just play rook f1 and hold everything together, because he can take this bishop, but then we can take his rook. So queen e7, but now we have this nice move, bishop c2, opening up this diagonal. So this bishop was needed to and bishop on f5 was needed, because otherwise e4 is coming, but now e4 is never really a threat anymore, because this d pawn is gone. So he has some problems here. He went bishop h6, which is actually quite a nice move. The idea is that if we play queen e4, he has f6. So yeah, objectively b6 might be better. Definitely if you compare it to the lines we had in the game, then it's kind of handy to put this pawn on b6. But I played rook e1, and he went rook a d8, which is, I think, the best move. If rook a e8, I thought he'd be in some sort of well, long. He can never really move any piece. I mean, he's somewhat zugzwanged. I don't know, rook f5 or something, rook e2. Bunch of moves. But instead he went rook a d8, and now I really was calculating between rook takes e5 and bishop, queen takes e5. There's not really any other move here. And well, if we have interposed b6 a6, then rook takes e5 is way better. But now I thought, if we take with the rook, you can take here, we can take there, you can take there, and now we can play bishop e3. This is quite easy. But what now? I mean, if he goes something like king h8, then we're definitely better. Because now we have a rook on the 7th. And this is very preferable. Although material is equal now, and it's still hard to win this. With such a passive king and such an active rook, chances are pretty good here. h4, g4, g5, I mean, lots of ideas here. So yeah, this might be a better move. I wasn't too sure though. Yeah, I think I even saw this bishop g5 here. Because if he takes now, and we take with the rook, yes, this rook takes b3. So you have to go rook d7 here. Yeah, and I couldn't really quite calculate this line deeply enough to see if what's better and what's not. I figured I shouldn't just give a pawn then and just take an equal pawn structure with the same problem here. And although my rook doesn't get to the 7th, yeah, we're still somewhat solid here. So he went rook fe8. And now there are some choices as well. We could go rook ef8, f5. I mean, we could go to h5, and we could take. I played rook f5, and he went bishop e3 here, which kind of surprised me. But it's probably a good move. I saw it, but I thought bishop b3 would just be really good here. Instead, probably rook e2 or bishop e3. I mean, for that matter, they're both kind of same-ish. If rook e2, then probably just bishop somewhere. Bishop b6, I thought. And it's kind of the same as in the game. So I went bishop e3. He took. We take on f7 with check. King c7, and now we take on e8. So yeah, if he takes on g3, that's point 1. We have a check here. King g8, and now we take. I thought we'd take on g3, then take on b7, and this is really good for us. We cut off his king. We're a pawn ahead. We're attacking this other pawn. This is really good for us. Although he still has this, we can just go h4, king g5. Because of the activity difference between both kings, then that means we're doing really well. Instead he played this good move, bishop b6, which I saw and I figured was probably the best, because now he's threatening to check and just win a pawn. Since I'm a pawn ahead at the moment, that's kind of a big deal. However, I saw that we would win another pawn here. This b7 pawn. He could go for the h pawn, but that's also probably scary. Bishop f3, and if he takes here, king g4, now we're threatening bishop e4 with rook takes h7. Unlucky for us, he still has king g6 here. So we're still not winning anything here, and this is just a draw now. But I mean, you have to give your opponent some chance to make a mistake, and this was a chance, I guess. So bishop g1 probably draws, but he needs to be precise. Instead he took on a2. And now we played rook f7 check, king h6, and bishop f3. If bishop g1 now, then bishop e4, and now it's really gnarly, I guess. He still has this king g5, and then a check. But that's really resemblant to the game, because now I played bishop e4 as well. King g5 is probably the only move, although rook e2 is maybe even possible here as well. Not 100% sure about that though. We could take on p7 probably, actually. So king g5 is probably the only move. And now rook f5 check I went for. We could also take on h7, but he can take here. And although we're pawn up, I doubt our chances here. I figured I'd just keep his king in some sort of a prison. If he takes on h2 here, obviously it's going wrong. But he played king g7, and we're getting around. He was in major time trouble, by the way, and we were getting around the 40 move mark. And this was the 40th move, so he got some extra time now. Okay, king f3 is the only move. And now a6, and this is kind of a good move, I guess. He's already seen how to draw, and he just wants to trade this pawn for. He doesn't really care how much pawns, because the resulting pawn rook bishop ending is almost always a draw. So I checked, hoping to see where he goes. If he goes to f6 or something, we have some chances of taking on a6, taking on h7, and hoping for an active pawn somewhere. So, I mean, this was the dream, or the dream was that we'd have some chance of winning this, but this bishop c7 came out of the was thunder. I don't know. I was thunderstruck at the blue sky or something like that. I don't know how the saying goes, but I didn't see this one. I was only looking at chances for me to win, other than chances for him to draw, and I figured I probably could pick this pawn up now, but it doesn't really matter now. I wanted to play bishop g8 here, but he can just take on g3 now, and this resulting position is a draw, because his king can just go to the corner, and he can just stay in the corner, and there's no way for me to improve. This is a known draw, actually, so yeah, there's only one move then. Well, there are two. Rook g6 check or g4 immediately. I went for the check. And now g4. Sorry. He played rook b6, which is again a really good move. Yeah, if I go rook g8, he just goes rook b8. If I go rook g5, which are the two moves, I thought he'd go bishop d8 here. Rook h5. Yeah, I don't know. I think I saw something somewhere, but not that one. Well, actually, rook b5 might also be moved, but then bishop f5, I guess. I think rook g5 is the only way for me to try here, although I still doubt this due to rook h6 or whatnot. I mean, this is also a draw. This is also pointless. However, we took and g5, and now there's no way for me to improve the position. So yeah, I played h5 here because there's no real other idea. I mean, I could move my bishop around somewhere, but that doesn't achieve anything either. And if I play g6, then he can just wait on the dark squares. He can just put his bishop on h6, go from here to here, and I can never achieve anything. So I went h5 and he took, and now I offered a draw here. Because, well, this is a known theoretical draw. There's no way for me to improve here. I mean, let's even say that we have this pawn blocked, and I mean, what can I do here? This is a stalemate. If I move my bishop here, a4, I mean, stalemates everywhere. There's just no point. So, yeah, kind of a tough game. The guy prepared pretty well, I think, but he didn't prepare thoroughly enough, because I think bishop f8 after bishop d7 in the opening is not that ideal, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, let me know what you think. The last round was against another guy named Timmermans. Not family though. And I wanted to win to have a plus score in the tournament. And yeah, you'll see that tomorrow, I guess. So I'll see you guys next time.